deluxe fajitas, charbroiled.
$1932. All cars are in mint condition.
They're all in excellent condition, aren't they?
Certainly are. Beautiful Dodge truck.
For you.
1956 car. Thunderbird just went by. Our next car, 1956. '57 T-Bird, my favorite of all of them.
Very toppy.
And even a Volkswagen. Just don't see those around anymore. After the parade of antique cars, we have the children's parade. Always an exciting part of the parade.
Quite the colorful event, isn't it?
Certainly is. A lot of organization, a lot of effort gone into this every year. Part of the historical streetscape just went by.
Comes the town crier.
Perry Wambach, town crier. Faithful steed, well in hand.
The horses go. Get up there! Ah! Get in there! Whoa! Whoa!
RCM police. We have the Sunday school as a part of our heritage.
You run over?
We have the Kiwanis Seaside Summer Float with the Queen, Sally Lloyd. Heather Pharmacy. Another picture of the Ellen Gent house. Marnie Enslow. Highliner, National Sea Products. Arlene Dunlop on this float. And right behind them there we have the Port Clyde Firette Majorettes. Very colorful group. dressed in their club colors of blue and white. And there's always a little one. Gets a smile from everyone. Next we have Thorne Sound Service. Shelburne Lioness. Tartnets. After the majorette, we have the Lockeport Regional High Princess for 1988. Down back, we have Cynthia Enslow. Town Market display. Beautiful float. Lots of little people in the back. Miss IODE, Laura Anderson. The second float by IODE. Scott Sound Systems of Barrington. Next we have Clearwater, Lockeport Division. They've received a trophy for their float. Very pretty.
Very colorful.
Very nice. Scout movement. Next we have the Ragged Islands Historical Society. One of their doll houses they've displayed over the years. Joe's Quick Way. Always participate in the floats. Joey Rossiter. Kim Van Zoost, horses. Terry Lee along with him. Mr. Morash. And of course we have the Lions Club, very active club in our town. Throw them out. Throwing everything out. Tracy McKay on back. Royal Bank. Suzanne Williams. And of course, the crowd favorite, the Hollands. As the Irving Oil Limited Lockeport Division. Lowell Fredericks. And we have the Ladies Auxiliary. Old Home Christmas, as it says on the side. Get away. Betty Lynn Hallett on back. Shelburne Fire Department. Sable River Fire Department. Lockeport Emergency Vehicle. by the fire chief, Leo Williams. Lockeport Fire Department, bumper number 2, and the first bumper coming along now. And so ends the parade.
Probably here in the background, Shelburne's town crier, Perry Wambach. He is introducing the parade. Perry also has with him 2 other town criers. I don't know the gentleman's name, but they are all decked out in their full regalia. One of the town criers has just introduced himself as being from Bridgewater, and the other town crier is supposed to introduce himself as well, so we will wait and see where he is from. The other town crier has just introduced himself as being from Liverpool. So we have 3 town criers here. These gentlemen do quite a job of going around and being good public relations for each town, individually and in competition. Of course, everybody will recognize Perry Wambach, Shelburne's town crier, in the middle, in the brown Loyalist costume. The town criers, as they go along the route, are stopping, chatting with people, shaking hands. Everyone's having a good time, as can be seen. Following the town criers is the RCMP car with the constable inside in his full dress uniform. Coming behind the Canadian flag, it looks like it is our past queen of the exhibition, Kathy Butler. We had no queen of the fair last year, but they are having the queen of the fair again this year. It will be on Friday night, the choosing of the queen. So everyone is looking forward to this event, and once again this year. I don't know the girls with Kathy, but they are in a beautiful car driven by Willard Holmes, who does a lot of restoring of older cars. And of course behind them is Mac Huskelson, mayor of Lockeport, with Harold Huskelson, the local MLA, riding along, and a small fellow with them. Following the car with Mr. Huskelson, there is the Shelburne Mayor, Parker Camo, and his wife, and another lovely restored vehicle from the town. And then, of course, a favorite with everybody coming along behind Mr. Camo is the Shelburne Lioness Tartanettes in their brilliant orange and blue uniforms. And They are really stepping high tonight. Of course, what is a parade without a band? And we have what looks like the Bowater Mersey Band just marking time here in the background, and we hope when they get a space between themselves and the majorettes they will start playing once again. Some music. Following the Bowater Mersey Band, we have another group of majorettes, so let's just watch. These girls are from Barrington, and I think these are a fairly new group. They're from Barrington, and it's always good to see these organizations for the young people. Barrington majorettes, we have a lovely lady in a car. I cannot tell just where she's from, whether she's from the Lockeport or the Barrington area. I would assume she's from one or the other. And she too is in an antique car. We have a lot of antique cars in our parade this evening. And of course in another car behind them again is Tim Van Soest, our candidate in the provincial election for the Progressive Conservatives, the election that is coming up in this month. And following this is something that I just love to watch, is the antique cars. And we have a first on this yellow and black one coming here, and I don't think this is right new, ladies and gentlemen. And there is a wonderful collection of them coming here. They are just beautiful. They looks like they've had a lot of spit and polish put on them for the day, and you could probably hear the horns in the background. They are really proud to show these vehicles off. We have a Dodge truck here. Coming behind that is one that is actually from the town area that I know. Wayne Thomas has done quite a lot of work. They tell me, his wife tells me they've done a lot of work on restoring this car, but it's still not to the way they want it. We have a bit of a stall in the parade here. It must be that a lot of them are turning the corner down by the Bank of Commerce. So we will just sit here and look at these beautiful cars. I know some of the older people in the audience must just love to see them. I just love to see them. And they are beautiful. And following Wayne Thomas is Lou Williams, local flower shop owner, and he has a beautiful Ford. And I can't make out on the side of it what the make of it is, but this car's been around for a while. It's been in lots of parades. and they're very proud of it, and rightly so. And then coming behind this one, it must be something that makes everybody's heart kind of go pitter-pat, is a red Thunderbird convertible. And this is a beautiful car. And I think it's Willard Holmes' wife that is driving this car. And it is just beautiful. Red interior, boy, it is spiffy. And it looks like she has a second hanging from her mirror. Yes, she does. So the beautiful Ford Thunderbird got a second prize. And going to from antiques, looks like we're going to have a drag race here, ladies and gentlemen. We got two cars side by side here in the middle of the street. And I guess it must be going from the old to the newer model. These go cars that look very much like drag racers might be going to where they're going to start stock car racing in Sable River. So these might be sort of trying to advertise the fact. We go with a Bel Air, a Ford Galaxy 500 coming up behind that. And ladies and gentlemen, look at this old GMC coming up behind here. Now that wasn't from yesterday. If I was better knowing of my cars, I might be able to describe them to you better, but I think probably it's just as well for you to sit back and look at them and enjoy them, because the people that fix these cars up have done a beautiful job. And we have another majorette group coming up from Port Clyde, and it's Port Clyde Firette Majorette. This must be a fairly new group too, because we have not seen these here at the Shelburne exhibition before. The little ones are always the joy of the crowd. Although they may not be in step and doing the proper thing, they're always so cute. And we have coming up here, which looks like the HMCS Cornwallis band. Watch them do a little routine here as they go by. Now we have another slowdown in the parade as the vehicles are trying to turn the corner by the Bank of Commerce. So why don't we just sit back and listen to our music that we have for the start. As the band moves away, I see behind the Yarmouth Sailorettes we have a bunch of decorated bicycles. Some young people have decided that this is their way to participate in the exhibition parade. Coming up is a truck from the Riverside Mazda from Bridgewater. It is nice to see these outside companies coming in and participating in the parade. We have a nice new truck here and a brand new looking car. We have, coming behind them new car is another type of horsepower, the real thing, and decorated horses. And we have one here, it looks like a gladiator or with the first prize. And we have a horse with of a different color. It's got blue and black spots, ladies and gentlemen. And a float from Sobeys. They always manage to come up with something different. This must be right from the days of the caveman. They're going to get somebody here in the audience beating them about the head as they go. And of course, more decorated horses as they go along. This must be a comparison of the old and the new here. We have a brand new van from Farmers, and it has special events, your community team on the side. And coming behind it is the older version of the Farmers delivery truck. It's quite a difference. We have some younger people here with their decorated horses. It's amazing the ideas these young people do come up with when they come to decorating. Following them is a difference for the Boy Scouts of Canada. They are marching this year. They decided not to put a float in, and they are just going to march. We have some boys in what looks like their regular uniform, and then we have some that looks like they're in a loyalist type of uniform. Of course, we have another delay in the parade while some of the vehicles are trying to turn the corner down below. And we have the boys just here, and it's interesting to look at some of the costumes that they have on and the make-believe muskets. And they even have a small cannon here. We have been lucky tonight, ladies and gentlemen, that we do have a fine evening for the parade. Our weather here for the last few weeks has been so unpredictable that we just kept our fingers crossed all day. Although it's clouding over now, we'll keep our fingers crossed and hope that it'll keep fine so the parade will be able to get over with, because there's so much work that goes into floats, costumes, that it is a sin that it would get ruined by a rainstorm. In fact, I know one particular group that said if it rained, they didn't know whether they were going to take their float out of the garage that it was in. So this just goes to show you how much work that does go into a float or even a group marching in the parade. Okay, things seem to be moving along again, and we have a truck here from Woody's tack shop. I see on the front of the truck they have a saddle, so they must supply the saddles and bridles and all the equipment that's necessary for a horse owner. And they're from Bridgewater, ladies and gentlemen. And this looks like Humpty Dumpty coming here behind the truck. And then we have some very different looking people on a truck here from Oxner's Abide-A-While home, and it says it's never too old to rock and roll. And I guess not, by the looks of some of the people on this float. Following this float is one I see that has got a first prize tacked on the front of it from Wilson's Shopping Center. And it's on the theme, Wilson's presents the California Raisins on tour. So we have the California Raisins here on our Wilson's float. It's got brilliant purple on it. And then we have some very strange and some very noisy vehicles coming up here. This one here in the front is a tow truck, but I don't know. I think the only thing that's going to need to be towed is it. And following him is some of the 4x4 trucks that participate in the rallies that go on around the area. It may seem to some people that these cars are very haphazard, but they're very serious when they go in these 4x4 in these rallies. And a stop car following that. Oops, somebody is going to get just slightly damp with the water hoses. Following them is from the Canada Employment Center, and hire a student. So these ladies do make a good job of putting a lot of young people to work. Following them are two girls on horses, which are behaving very well considering the noise that is going on ahead of them. The horses are doing very well, or should I say it's the girls that are managing the horses very well. Following them is a sight you don't see too often. It's the manager of the exhibition with a horse and wagon team, Buddy Thompson and his wife Claire. And they are representing the exhibition, I would assume. It says a special thank you to your sponsors. And they have a lot of names listed on their float, so I would assume these are the people that have helped them with the exhibition. Following this is a young lady on horseback, and I think that's Marcia Bauer. And we have I Am Aquatic Farming float. And it represents a boat, and it looks exactly like one. The fish behind, I don't know. I don't know whether I'd want to catch one of those fish or not. They look a little strange. Next coming up are some young people dressed in costumes. You see one horse here has a first prize tied to his bridle. And the girl is all decked out in a beautiful yellow costume. Very nice. And of course some of these children are a bit young to take the animals in the parade by themselves, because with all the racket and the people, they get very nervous. So a lot of them have people leading just to save any accidents happening, which is a good idea. And of course, those that haven't heard of Discovery, here's a van that's telling you all about it. This is an event that's going on in the town these few days now. It's on the 10th, 11th, and 12th of this week, and there'll be more about that, I'm sure. Some more decorated ponies. And yet another majorette group, the Yarmouth Junior Majorette, sponsored by the Kinsman Club of Yarmouth. And we have some triathlon athletes here, and they are asking for everyone's support. More decorated horses. And then we have a different look of fun in the sun. A John Deere, and I was going to say a four-wheeler, but it appears to have 5 wheels with a trailer, and on the back they have a tent and some trees. all set for camping. Even a kite got up in the trees. But there is a float that is different, and it has been a lot of work put into it. But of course on the back of that float is some young people with some balloons who look like they're having a fun night tonight, just riding, having fun in the sun, which is fast disappearing here, but we hope it will stay around. Following that is our very own Seabreeze van with Ronnie Fry driving and throwing candy out to the girls and boys along the road. And of course he has it all decked out in the first choice posters. And following Seabreeze is CKBW. And we just have some more riders going by who all like to show off their animals in the parade. And I think we have a little Indian princess going along behind here on her pony. She looks all decked out. She looks very appropriate for the occasion. H&B Car Sales have a new truck here. I would assume it's a Chev. H&B usually sells Chev. And it's a 4x4, and it's a pretty nice looking vehicle. Pretty red. And I think red always gets a lot of people. They always like the pretty reds in these vehicles. And H&B Car Sales also have a different car here than they have a stock car. So they must be getting geared up too for the stock car races that they hope to get started in Sable River. So that's going to be quite a sport for some of these people that enjoy taking a car out and racing it. And maybe they won't be racing it on the highway if they can have a place to go. We have a couple of clowns walking along behind here. And we have a duck. I can't tell just what this duck represents. Maybe the camera can get Super Duck Race. Oh, there has been something been advertised on television about a Super Duck Race. We have a little fellow going along behind in a cart, and they're throwing out candies. Once again this year, Bill Young's Jeep is in here. He usually puts it in every year. He has some young people on the back, and he has her all decked out for the occasion. Following behind them, we'll wait for Sharon to catch up with me here. Following behind Sharon is the Girl Guide float. They're all waving. They're all old pals of mine, so we're giving them a good wave. They threatened me that if I didn't say good comments, they would say bad things about me. So I have to say good things about the Girl Guides. And following the Girl Guides again this year is a pipe band. And let's just listen to them. Of course, the Dunvegan Pipe Band has been coming to the Shelburne exhibition for a good many years. They usually participate in the parade, and then they usually put on a performance at the arena at some point afterwards. We have a truck in now representing the Garrison House from Shelburne. And Little People's Place has a 10th anniversary float coming up, and they are all covered in trees, and they have a tent on there, and young people dressed up as Indians. They all look like they're having fun. Believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, coming down the street is a boat. Whether she's seaworthy or not, we do not know, but it is quite a job they have done on this boat. And it looks like the people who are on it are having fun. And of course, what is an exhibition, an agricultural exhibition, without the oxen? And here we have a good lot of them. Good representation of some of the ox teams that participate at the exhibition every year in the various ox halls. Following the oxen is the Shelburne County 4-H Club, and the theme of their float seems to be Catch the 4-H Wave. We only have one club in the Shelburne County right now. It would be good to see a lot of people involved in this organization. They even have their animals on there. I see rabbits, sheep, chickens. So it just goes to show that there's a good many things that the 4-H do that is worthwhile to a child that's interested in those type of things. The municipality of Shelburne has their float once again this year, and this looks like Robin Hood and his merry men, maybe. They're all decked out in green. It looks like Friar Tuck, but he looks a lot slimmer than he used to be. And here comes our princesses in the competition for the Queen of the Fair. And oh, I don't envy the judges their job of having to pick one of those girls. They all look very nice. And down below us here, waving like mad, are some boys and girls that are participating in the Big Brothers Big Sisters program. We have another stall in the parade. I'm looking down the street towards the bank, and there seems to be a backup of vehicles down by the Bank of Commerce. So we have a band here. It looks like a Legion band on the back of a truck. If we can hear it over the fire trucks, we will listen to that while we wait for the parade to start once more. Of course, in the stall in the parade, it's stopped at an opportune moment here. The people down below us have got cameras going like mad, taking pictures of the princesses as the float is stopped right in front of them. They're taking every advantage they can get to get a picture of them. And like I say, I don't envy those judges their job of having to choose a queen from those girls. They all look very beautiful. The float following the Big Brothers Big Sisters float appears to be from the Legion Hall. The gentleman driving the truck has got out and lifted up the flag. I think maybe he must be starting to overheat. And I think this is the first year in some time that maybe that the Legion from Shelburne area have had a float in the parade, and this is very nice to see. And they have the town band on the back. And you can probably hear them as they go by. And following them is a big sign that says, "Thank you, Roseway Hospital Auxiliary." And it must be as a thank you from the Hospital Staff Association. And that other sign says, "This ambulance was purchased with your wing-ding dollars." So, ladies and gentlemen, this goes to show you that if you help the wing-ding and you participate, this is what we can have to help anybody that is ill or injured. And of course, coming in the background, you must hear it all. If you can hear me at all, we have the fire departments coming up, and this is always the noisy part of the parade. Of course, I almost overlooked ladies softball, Jordan Center Service Center ladies softball team. Of course, the first fire truck going by is from Liverpool. We hope Liverpool does not have any fires this evening. Following them is one from Port Clyde Fire Department, the rescue unit. We would try to name off each one of these units as they come by because they're well identified. The next one is from Lockeport. All the children, or most of them, love to hear those sirens. Following the Lockeport Volunteer Fire Department pumper is the old fire truck from Shelburne from 1783. This is on display at the museum normally. They dust it off, bring it out, and put it on show every exhibition time. Of course, following them is the Shelburne Fire Department in all their glory. As Shelburne Fire Department goes by, we realize that our parade is coming to a close. We hope you've enjoyed it. We're sorry we didn't have anybody from the parade committee this year to help commentate on the float. They would probably have been more knowledgeable about the different floats, who was in them, than I am. They were not able to get anybody here to help us this evening. So we hope you enjoyed it anyhow. And we'll just watch the last of the fire trucks as they go by. Once again, we hope you enjoyed the fire trucks. They're going by here making so much noise, I have nothing else but I can say. We hope you enjoyed the exhibition parade once again this year. We're thankful the weather held off so that everybody was not wet as they went through, the floats were not destroyed by one.